Hello. Hi, conscious creators. Hi, conscious ones. How's everybody doing tonight? Good evening. It's Thursday
Alert from
night.
calendar. CCTB.
Siri says it's Thursday night and it's time for the Conscious Creators Toolbox. It's March the 11th. Yeah, 7 o'clock on March the 11th. Thursday, we are gathered together to have a session tonight, the Conscious Creators Toolbox. An opportunity to, to kind of take those creative powers and creative abilities out of the tool shed and, fine tune them up, sharpen them up so that you can manifest and create your destiny, your life, create what you want to create and manifest what you want to manifest. So come on in. We're going to get started here. I'm doing my very best to try to keep the sessions under an hour, 45 minutes, between 45 minutes and an hour. I did pretty good last time. I think I did it right on about an hour and a couple of minutes last time. So I'm working on it. Backing it up. Trying to get ready to get back into going into the center. I'm going to start going into the center later on this month, at least one session a month. We're going to kind of take our time and go into the session and hang out with the folk down at the Interfaith True Center on Thursday evening. We're going to start, I believe it's the 24th of March of this month. We're going to go out there and kind of do some two-way and interact with some folk. Hopefully, maybe some of you will show up. I never know. You never know. So we'll see. But anyway, good evening and welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox for Thursday, March the 7th, March the 11th, 2021. And I'm Jean Aaron, life coach, spiritual teacher, and I am ready for the session tonight. So come on in and let's get ourselves started. I've got a few announcements to make, not very many. I'm gonna just the things that's gonna be new, upcoming, and I don't know of anything really new and upcoming just yet. I know we've got some things in the making. I have a couple of astrologers that I am eager to introduce you to, let you meet them, Valentina and Quentin. You'll get to hopefully meet them shortly. We're kind of setting up some dates and times that we're going to get together and maybe have an opportunity to do a birth chart for you guys. So, kind of look at those houses and just kind of find out. I know there's quite a few people have kind of inquired about astrology and the horoscopes and what this means and what that means and what can I get a chart or a birth chart and what is the birth chart, how much information is on there. So we got to get an opportunity to meet a couple of folk, Quentin and Valentina and Quentin. You gotta have an opportunity to meet them, hopefully in a session. Maybe next month, maybe early next month we can get out there and get to meet them, get to meet them and have them help you with those birth charts and getting to understand what those signs of the zodiac mean and what sign what sign you happen to be born under and what planets kind of play a role in who you are and kind of help you determine. Help you with that journey into yourself, so you can get an idea of how the stars all lined up and saluted when you were born, when you came into this being, into this earth plane. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm really kind of eager for that. And that's probably the only new thing that's kind of in the wind. We still do the 7 at 7 on Sunday, the mini life coach session on Sunday. I invite you to kind of check us out for that. And of course, we are still a part of the Interfaith True Center down on Austell Road in Austell, Georgia, US of A. And I want to shout out to them and to let them know that, I'm here and I'm still holding down Thursday nights and I'm looking forward to getting back into the center on the last Thursday in this month. So hello, Interfaith True Center, and if you have an opportunity, check their website out. Go into www.interfaith.com, I believe is their website. But you can always kind of Google it. Interfaith Truth Center is where they are. And of course, they're on Austell Road in Austell, Georgia. So if you get an opportunity, check the website out. Go on that website and just check them out and see what they're doing, see what's happening over there with them. They have all types of activity. I missed it last night. Really missed last night. They had kind of a meditate. Well, have meditation every Wednesday night. And last night they had a special guest. They call it the in-house band. They had a guest, and they were actually doing some chanting and some providing some some atmosphere, some music, and for those folks that were out there meditating. I believe they probably recorded it, and you may be able to check it out. And if you go to the website, you may be able to, replay some of it. And I know if it was anything like they, was last year. I mean, this is kind of an annual, or they do it 2 or 3 times a year. That you can use it for your meditating too. You can use the recording for your meditating. Really nice folk there. That were out there last night. So I missed that, but I will definitely check the website out and see what I missed. But anyway, if you go into the website, you can find out, learn about all of the various and the many different types of classes and workshops and training sessions that they offer down there. They are a metaphysical gift shop, so you can find metaphysical products and supplies down there, for smudging and crystals and just stop in and see what they have. I got some beautiful dream catchers. They're beautiful dream catchers down there, and a really nice assortment of jewelry and various gifts and cards and just books, oracle cards, tarot cards, and just a nice variety. So check them out. Check the website out first to kind of see what's happening down there and see what's going on the calendar of events, and just go check them out. So anyway, but I'm just shouting out to them. Hello, my family at Interfaith Truth Center. I love you guys, and I appreciate being a part of your mission down there. And we do wonderful things down there, and I'm happy to be a part of that, doing wonderful things. So this month we're talking about state of being, and then we're gonna keep that. We're gonna continue that tonight, and probably another next couple of sessions. We're gonna be finishing it up and topping it off, talking about our state of being. Tonight we're gonna be talking about how we move from one state of being to other states of being, and how we do that, and why we do it, and we're just going to kind of get a little bit more into our state of being. So again, good evening, and welcome to the Conscious Creators Toolbox. And again, it's where you get an opportunity to explore who you are, what you are, whose you are, and take a look at your creative powers and creative abilities, and understand where they come from, and where you come from, and why you have them. We are created by Creator. We're creators, co-creators with the universe, with God, with the divine, with Father, with Mother Earth, Father Earth, Source, whatever name that you give your Creator and your Source. Those are some of the names that I use, and some of the descriptions that I use for Source and for Creator, but you may have some of your own. So whatever it is that you call your Creator, your Source, that is who you are made and created in the image of, and you have been given and endowed with the same powers and same abilities that your Creator and creation is created from, and you can do all the things that Creator can do. Creator withholds nothing at all from us. Every good and perfect thing, and everything good and perfect and imperfect, and all things come from Creator. So God Father, Source, creation allows us and afford us all the power and all the gifts so that we can manifest and create and do like Father does and Creator does. So Conscious Creators Toolbox is just that opportunity to look at those creative abilities and creative powers, and really understand them, and not be blindsided by some of the powers that we have, or 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 that we have, and sometimes we don't not even aware that they are, they're God given, and and we how to use them, how we can best use them. I like our consciousness, our awareness. That's a gift, and that's a power to be reckoned with if we really had a mind to put it to full-fledged use, and do all the things that is available that it can probably afford us. But basically, we are creators, and we create our own realities, and we are 100% responsible for who we are. I mean, what we manifest and what we create, and we have all those gifts and all that power and all those abilities, and we just want to know how to do. Want to know how to use them so that we can manifest and create on purpose, and create some of the things that we want rather than the things that we just happen to end up with just by default. Because we are creators, whether we are consciously, purposefully, deliberately, with intention and focus doing that creating, we are creating nonetheless. We can do, we create a lot of things and we go, oops, did I do that? Urkel would say that. Yeah, you did that. And it's okay, that's fine. We can, universe and God and Divine Father can use all of that stuff, whether we meant to do it or not. But of course we have to live through the consequences of all those things that we create, whether they be good things or not so good things, or mistakes or wonderful things that we intended and we meant to create. So that's the name of who we are. It's the name of our game. We're conscious creators, and we have an unlimited, unrestricted access to all of the creative abilities and powers that we would be aware of and want to have access to. Okay, so tonight, like I said, tonight we're going to continue talking about your state of being, and but first I want to ask a couple of questions. I want to ask you a question. It's going to put you on a hot seat. I want to ask you a couple of questions, and you don't really have to answer it, but if you want to, you can pencil it in or type it in type the answer in on a comment. But you don't really have to answer it. I'm not looking for. Like I said, I'm not trying to put you on the hot seat, but I do want to ask you a question. I want to ask you something so you can something to think about, and I want you to answer it for yourself at some point in time over the next few days. But tell me, how often do you have, or you feel, or have you felt in control of yourself, your situation, your circumstances, your life, your creation, who and what you are? Or I can put it in a simple way. How often are you in control of your state of being? How often are you in control of your state of being? How often do you assume and you take control of what you are, who you are, and your life situation, your life circumstances? Kind of think about that, because we're going to kind of be talking about it, and hopefully at the end of the session tonight, you'll be able to, kind of give it some really serious thought and see if you need to tweak anything about that control that you have. Because I want you to know that you are 100%, without a doubt, responsible for all of it. Whether you assume that control and that power that is, again, God-given, is your gift, your life, your opportunity to create and co-create with universe, with each other, with me. I'm always available to help co-create. I love it. I love creating, manifesting. So since you are 100% responsible for everything that about your life and your situation, you're responsible for it. You have to answer for it, into it. Then it would kind of, let me encourage you to take control. If you have delegated or given away or set back and had somebody else come along and take over and take control of your life and dictate and use the powers that are given to you to to do and have, to create your life, and you create situations and things that are going on in your life. If you've given that away, let me encourage you to take it back. Take that power back, take control back, and you be in control of you. You be in control of your situation. You be in control of the circumstances that's in and about your life. You take control of your life and your state of being. That's your thing, because when it push comes to shove, and you're sitting there with having to answer to something that you've created, that it was an oops, my bad. They're not going to come to me and say, even though I may have had something, kind of coax you off to do with it, took your power away, and I'm doing it for you. You've given it over to me. I'm not the one that's going to have to answer for it or pay for any consequences or any results or any consequences of the result of that. So take back your power if you have it. If you cannot honestly say that you are in control of your life, that you use your powers to manifest and create your reality, your existence, your destiny, then I may encourage you to take that power back today. I'm going to start here with this one. We are all brothers of one Father. And that is true. That is a fact. That is absolutely true. I'm not even going to call it a fact. This is the truth. It is the truth whether we understand it or not. Whether we are conscious and aware of the fact that we are all one, we are brothers and brothers and sisters of one Father. One Father. And again, you can call Daddy one name, and I can call Daddy another name, but Daddy is Daddy, and Father is Father, and Creator is Creator in any language, in any country, in any part of the world, in any part of under the sea, over the sea, in the sky, below the sky, in any galaxy or anywhere in wherever. God is. There's only one God. There's only one God, and we call God by so many different names, and so many. We call God by so many different names, and we have so many different understandings. We could, literally, really, we could have, and probably a lot of us do. We could all have an individual idea, concept, and an understanding and a knowing about who our personal Creator is. But I am here to tell you tonight that we're all brother and sisters with one Father. For all and any and everybody. And again, we can call it by any name. I say God, I say Father, I say universe, I say divine, I may say creation or source, but they're all one and the same. So you name, whatever you name, know that truth is we are one with one Father. And something else I want to kind of another truth I want to point out is that we are all of us, each of us each of us struggle. Each of us struggle in the separation from Father, in the separation from the wholeness of who we are as one and who we are to and with Father as one. We struggle with that because as soon as we recognize that we are an individual, when we come here and we realize that we are, that's mom and I'm baby and that's brother and that's sister and that's dog and that's cat and this is a chair and because for a long time babies just don't separate nothing. You give them your hand, they'll just put it in their mouth and they just when babies come they're one. They know who they are. But we slowly get away from that as we begin to identify ourselves separately from each other, and we struggle with that. We struggle with that until we return to Father. Until we return to Father, we're constantly struggling with the separation and understanding and grasping who we really are and understanding and being who we really are. It's part of our life journey. We leave, we come here, we get enculturated to live and to exist and have our being here, and we start forgetting whose and what we are. And I'm here. One of my missions and one of my things for being here is to help remind us who we are and help remind you who you are, and hopefully make that struggle and make that journey back to Father a little bit easier, a little bit more effective, So that's what I do. So as long as we are in flesh, there is going to be a struggle between that flesh, that physical self of us, and that eternal part of us. That part of us that once this body, gives way and gives up the spirit, then it goes back to where, the dust or wherever it came from, we're going to be struggling. We're going to have that struggle between that physical and that spiritual self. And that's just the way it is. We all have it. No, not one person, not one breathing physical human being is exempt from that struggle and from that journey that they have, that is taken. All right. So tonight, like I said, we're going to continue with the series, and that's just a little side note. Just wanted to kind of pour that out there. And it does have something to do with tonight, and hopefully you'll connect the dots at some point. Maybe not tonight, but at some point you'll go, aha, yeah. Okay, but tonight we're going to continue the series on state of being, and we'll look at how we, as beings, both spiritual and physical, move from one state of being to another or to other states of beings. And I kind of want to, I don't think that I mentioned this last week, but I want to be very, very clear that, and make this point, that there are an infinite number of states of beings, okay? There's an infinite number of states of beings that we can experience as spiritual beings, as human, and as human beings. We can, it's just an infinite number. This infinite. If you lived all of your life, you could never, ever experience all of the states of being that there are. If you live many lives, you probably would never experience all of them because it's an infinite number. It's an infinite number. It's just numberless. So you won't ever get to that place where you've experienced them all. But, that's what we're here to do, though. We're here to experience them. And that's what we do. And hopefully after tonight, you're going to take a different look at your experiences as a human being, your experiences as a spiritual being, hopefully. That's my intention, is to hopefully get that across to you. Something else that I don't believe that I mentioned last week, and I want to kind of make sure that I help you understand this, is that we could only experience one state of being at a time. Now, there's an infinite number, and we can only experience one at a time. I can't be, and we talked about what states were. We're going to kind of review that a little bit, but we talked about states of a being. We can't be happy and sad at the same time. Those are two different states of beings. We can't be angry and blissful at the same time. Can't those two states it's not going to happen. You can't do that. You can't be happy and happiest at the same time. So you got a level of degree of being happy, which means that there's a happy state, there's a happier state, and then there's the happiest state, and then it's probably one of this off the chain kind of state. I don't know, but there's so many degrees of the states again that gives way to the fact that there are unlimited. There's just unlimited number of states, and an infinite number of states that we have the opportunity to experience as physical and spiritual beings. Now, before we move into tonight's lesson or tonight's topic, which is manifest your desired state of consciousness. That's the topic tonight. Manifest your desired state of consciousness. I want to review real quickly what we talked about last week, and that was basically, we kind of defined what was meant by states, or what we're talking about when we're talking about states. Because I know sometimes people say, well, gee, I don't know if they really get you. You have to, okay, well, I'm going to remind you what we're talking about on states. We defined and described states of beings as kind of interchangeable with the terms of state of mind. You've probably used that term, my state of mind, or my state of consciousness, or my state of awareness. All of those are interchangeable to states of being. Okay, they are, and they're very similar. They're very, very similar. And it's kind of easy to slip from one of those, references to another, and usually you can do it without losing the real meaning of what you're talking about. But for the sake of this particular month session, I want to kind of keep my focus on state of being. And I want to try to use that in most cases. I might slip up, but if I don't, I'm always meaning state of being. Now, the reason, one of the reasons that I want to make sure that it's state of being is because if I use state of mind just pretty much specifically referred to your mental state. It's talking about ego, talking about emotions. But state of being encompasses you as that whole person. the whole ball of wax. It's not just talking about your mental state and ego and your mind or your mental and emotions. No, we're talking about your body, your soul, your spirit, your emotions, your mind, all of that wrapped into one, that whole you, that whole person of you. And when we talk about states of being, basically the definition of state of being is, I want to make sure that I give it to you, like I said the other day. A state of being is a unique experience of an existence, an experience by the whole person, the whole body, the whole you, the soul, the spirit, the mind. All it's that state is an experience of the whole thing. Your body, your mind, your spirit, your ego, your physical self, all of it. It looks at the being that you are in a state of happiness. When you are in a state of happiness, experiencing happy, you feel it in your body. You smile, you animate, your animation, you change your facial expressions, you tingle all over, you glow, and literally your energy is vibrating at a reasonably higher rate of frequency going. So when you're happy, you're in that state and your whole body gets involved in it. Likewise, when you're angry, you can sometimes feel the things on your veins on your neck kind of tighten up, and you're clenching your fists and you're frowning your face, and you're ready to jump on somebody, right? And you're feeling it, and your blood is pumping, so you're ready to pounce. So when you are in a state, you can probably look at every aspect of who you are, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and identify what is happening in and with you in that state of being. Now, you can't be happy. You can't be happy and angry at the same time. So you can only reside or have an experience in a state of being, just one at a time. But good for us, and we're just these awesome created beings. We can move from state to state at the blink of an eye. At the blink of an eye. Before we can lose an eyelash, we can move from one state to another. We can go from miserable, being totally depressed to, scratching a lottery ticket and we just won, a whole bunch of money. So our situations and our circumstances can change and alter our state of being just constantly, all the time. In the course of a day, and I think I asked you all to kind of watch and see how many times you changed states of beings in the course of a day. I lost count. I did it too, but I did it a couple of days, and I just like, oh well, I'm too busy, counting thoughts. I can't do both. So we change our state of being just constantly from one situation in our lives, one set of situations in our lives, one occurrence, one event in our lives, just over and over throughout the day. Excuse me. So, but we can only experience one at a time, one at a time. So in the course of a day, with our unique, mighty little, creation and co-creators that we are, we have within us the power, the ability, the know-how, whatever it takes, to move from one experience to another. And we're doing that constantly all day long, every day, every moment. And sometimes we can change a couple of times in a moment, So it's really just that fast. It's just that fast, and that's who we are. We also talked about last week, the two major categories of states of beings. And remember, or states of experiences. Remember, basically, the two overall categories are simple, or simply as basic as opposites and contrast, right? We are either in a yes state of being or a no state of being. We're either in a light state of being or a dark state of being. We're either in a love state of being or a fear state of being. We're either in a life state of being, life, or a death state of being. And on that spectrum of yes to no, from yeah, absolutely, without a doubt, yes, there's a variation of yeses up into the no, and then there's a variation of no's until you get to no, not no, no, no questions asked. The answer is no. We don't even no conditions to it. It's just a no. No conditions to it. It's just a yes. And then all those contrasts between the yes and a no are various opportunities for states of existence on that spectrum. So it's basically an opposite. It's basically we basically contrast, and that's all we do. We experience and live contrasts, from one contrast, from the best of the best to the worst of the worst, and we have an opportunity to, along that spectrum between the two opposites, is to have various degrees of experiences. So we have two main categories: a yes or a no, a life or a death, light or dark. Somebody said, is it up or down? You could be up or down. You could be. Yes, it could. In or out. Yeah, it could be that too. Whatever opposites are, we could experience all of that from one eternity to the other eternity. Okay, so either way you look at it. So those are some of the things that we talked about last week. And I want to make sure that you understand that you can only, I don't care how great you are and what a superwoman or superman that you are, you can't have but one experience at a time. You can have a ton of them, every moment you can have another one, or at the blink of an eye you can have one, but you can only experience one at a time. All right? So tonight what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we move. Just a second. We're going to look at how we move from one state of a being to another state of being, and how we get back, go between them, and how we get back again. We're going to talk about how we motivate, how mobile we are between these states, and we also want to discuss how we, personally, as human spirit beings, how we control our individual states of being. And yes, we can, and we do, and we should control our states of being. We are in control of it. We can move. We can move at will. We can move at choice. We can move even, even if we don't do anything. We're just going to be there. A situation will change. A situation and a situation will be adjusted or changed just by somebody walking in the room, and maybe the wrong person, and you were happy until that person showed up, and now you went from happy to oops, there it goes. Or you pick up the phone, and it's the wrong person that's on the other end, and then you were happy until you said hello. So, but you can decide. You can do like me. You can look at the phone and say, no, I don't think I want to talk to that person because I don't want to. I'm trying to maintain this state of being right now, and I'll call you later. So so you can control. You can make a conscious, deliberate, intentional effort to choose what state of being you want to reside in, where you want to be. Now, what I do want to kind of point out, this is kind of it's got to be a term that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be calling, and you probably heard the word dwelling place. And dwelling place, I know it's a biblical term. I've heard it in the Bible, live in your dwelling place. Well, dwelling place, as related to state of being, means that's a state of being that it can be described as you, now, if I show up, you guys know me, if you know me well enough, probably you know me on Thursday night, I show up, and this is Jean. So this is I'm experiencing my normal dwelling place where I try to vibrate at a certain speed, and I try to, kind of be consciously aware of what's going on, and I try to be, on guard just in case, something, pop up that I'm not gonna, it's not gonna leave me feeling warm and fuzzy. So I can just maintain that same dwelling place, that same Jean, state of Jean, and I'm gonna call it state of Jean being. So, and me, this Jean. There's probably a whole bunch of other genes, but this gene, this is my state of being. Now I have a particular place or a particular dwelling place or a particular state of being that I naturally fall into. I get to work on it and tweak it, as I do my shadow work and I do all the other things that I do in my journey of living. But I still have this comfortable place, my comfort zone state of being, where I am. And you, like I said, if you know me well enough, you can identify. That's a Jean. That's Jean. And if I showed up and was acting like the Mad Hatter, you would probably say, wow, she's not acting like Jean tonight, or she's not being Jean tonight. That's the dwelling place. All of us have a comfort place, a comfort zone, and that we fall back into, we go back to. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's kind of nice to have that. And if you're happy with, if you're pretty much happy with who you are, and you keep it, and you kind of tweak it, like I said, because we're perfecting ourselves and we're evolving all the time. But we want to be aware of that dwelling place. So if it's okay and it's comfort, then that's my go-to spot. So when crazy things start happening, I know what I am, how I'm supposed to be, and how I'm supposed to feel, and how I'm supposed to behave, how my body, how my blood pressure, I can check it and it's supposed to be, in this range or whatever. So I know these things about me. So we all have that. We all have a dwelling place. So you may hear me talk about dwelling place over the next few sessions. So keep that in mind when I talk about dwelling place. That's the you. That's the you. That's the you piece for you. All right. So let's see. Okay, tonight, I think I gave you, and I posted them online. I apologize if they were a little bit late. I tried to post 2 documents that I'm going to be using tonight as a reference, and I'm basically going to be sharing my personal experiences and my understanding of state of beings, and I'm going to share them with you in light and reference of these 2 documents. And I gave you, it was by Neville Goddard, who is actually my father of manifestation. If anybody asks you, who does Jean kind of pattern her style of manifestation on, it would be Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard, his teachings were actually, they actually transported me onto the journey of manifestation and understanding and creating. And then the other document I'm gonna be kind of referencing is a document, it was titled How to, let's see, I want to get the title because I think that was one of the ones that I tried to post online for you. How intentions work. We're going to kind of talk about intentions because intentions have a lot to do with choosing and moving from state to state and how you move from state to state. So how intentions work was one document, and that was from Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity. And that particular source, it resonated so much with my spirit in helping me to understand who I was, what I was as a creator, a creation, as a co-creator with the universe, and understanding whose I am. I'm creation. I'm part of creation. I'm made out of that same stuff that creation is made of. So those 2 documents and those 2 sources are really what kind of, I'm going to say, it's kind of my foundation, my groundwork that helps me with understanding and moving through my journey of manifestation and my journey of manifesting my reality, my destiny, and who I am, and trying to stay, stay sane as well, because we can kind of get out. There's a lot of sources out there, and that's by no means the end of all ends of sources that I use. I use any and everything I can get my hands on. I'm looking and reading. Anybody that know me probably know, I was always one to be in somebody's book or somebody's library growing up. So I still have that. I still have that fever. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share those with you. If you did not have a chance to read them or go online, I just suggest that you take a look and look up Neville Goddard. He has thousands of lectures that were recorded and documented for him. And Releasing Your Unlimited Creativity is a website that's it's like you could fall through a rabbit hole if you don't be careful. But it's kind of fun too. But check those 2 resources out, and of course there's a whole bunch of others. Dyer, I share Dyer with them, and then of course Hicks. All of those folks. All of those, some folk call them the New Age folk, but I don't call them that. I call them manifestation and into manifestation and creativity. So that's what I call it. But back to Neville. According to Neville Goddard, a state of being is an attitude of mind, a state of experience with a body of beliefs which you and I, or which you live by, or I live by. And we all have our own system of beliefs. We all have our own body of beliefs. We may both have the same or similar beliefs, but when it come down to the nitty gritty and the details about a particular belief, we may differ somewhat. We may have a little bit of a difference. So, according to Neville's definition of a state is an attitude of mind, a state of experience with a body of beliefs which you live by, which governs your life, governs the way you operate and function and in and out of the various states. He also points out that we are all likely to agree that as we are forever identifying ourselves by saying, I am this or I am that, that we're forever and ever moving. That's one way we can tell how we're moving from one state to another, because we're forever identifying the states that we are thinking that we're in, or believing that we're in, or hopefully acting that we're in. You may say, I'm happy, I'm sad, or I'm tall, I'm short. We're forever describing our state and identifying and describing our states of being. And we speak it out of our mouth. I mean, if I ask you, if I called you up, or I just pointed you out and say, who are you? The first thing you would probably say, you may not say it out loud. You may say Jean, you may say Mary, you may say, but in your mind you're saying, I am Jean, I am Mary, I am Valentina, I am Virginia, I am Nikki, I am, whoever you are, you would say that. If I ask you how you are, then you would say, I am okay, I'm fine today, oh, I'm happy. Or you may describe yourself as, I am, I'm a doctor. I'm a nurse, I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, I'm a dad. So we're always using the I am to mentally transport ourselves to a particular state, all right? And sometimes just by saying those things that you are, you immediately enter that state. And then, somebody else might come along and strike up a conversation, and you move from being in that state of a teacher, maybe you stay that teacher, then your conversation will start taking, and then you'll start, well, now I'm getting discouraged. You're talking to me, and what you're saying to me is moving me, causing me to move myself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, energetically, from a state of being, a teacher and I'm on it and I'm taking care of these kids in this classroom today, to, oh my goodness, you just brought me some news and I'm just listening to that. Now I'm worried. I'm in a different state. I've transported myself from one state of just being a teacher and I'm concerned about kids and, taking responsibility, to now I'm worried. I'm in a state of worry. So we're constantly using the I am to help us to identify the state that we're in. When you were thinking about the assignment last week of kind of tracking you moving from one state to another, you probably, if you thought about it, you think like, what's going on with me? Well, I'm feeling yada yada. I am feeling okay. Well, that feeling that you identified yourself with, is part of that state, that experience that you're having. Now, there's as far as the state itself, or what constitutes a state, everything constitutes a state. Absolutely everything. For instance, if you were, everything. Let me back up a little bit on my sermon. Use that for later. But absolutely everything constitutes the state. A state is a set of circumstances, a set of situations, a set of events that are happening at a given point in time, a point in time of your life. At any given time, if you stop at any point in time, you can identify specifically what's going on. And then you can look at your feelings and your thoughts, and all of that constitute or makes up that state of being that you're experiencing, right? And one little thing can tweak it, can change it, and can move you from that state that you are into a different state. And just for instance, I mean, you're sitting there and you kind of scanned yourself and you realize that I'm feeling pretty content right now. I'm feeling really content. Everything is copacetic. Everything's down. Everything's fine. And then the phone rings. The phone rings and you're still in content. And hello. And now, your boss is, kind of asking you about, that report that you were supposed to do, and you leave on his desk, but it's not there. And now you've gone from being content to, oh my God, am I going to lose my job? What is it? And anything, absolutely anything can transport you from one state of being to experience a different state of being, because you can't stay content. You can't stay in that state of contentment if your boss is breathing down your neck and you're worried about losing your job because I forgot to leave the report. So that's just an example of how easy it is to tweak or modify your situation and your circumstances to move you over into it. You can do it with your thoughts. You can be thinking, having happy thoughts. And then, out of nowhere, because, our mind is it does its own little train of thinking. It does its own thing unless you take the control that you have, and it's one of the powers that you have, take control of that mind and you direct what you want to think about. And I hear you, but I'm not thinking about that right now, and you put that aside. You can do that. But if you do not, mind can take you. Mind can move you from being happy to reminding you of something that happened 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden, you're all wrapped up in that thought, and you're transported back in time to that awful event, and all that, you're fine and happy is gone out the door. So remember that. And like Neville says, that after I am, everything that goes after that, you are declaring, you're making a declaration, you're affirming, you're agreeing as to what state of being that you are experiencing at that moment, or at that moment that you're speaking out into the atmosphere, into the world. All right. Neville also calls the I am. This is kind of I hesitate to say this, but I kind of like this because I thought it'll kind of leave you like, Anyway, Neville calls this I am declaration a fall. He calls it a falling into state. Okay, and it's like I have to, and again, I have to save that, going into more details for a later topic, because the fall of man is basically what he's saying, but it's a different kind of concept, but it ties in, but it's a little bit deep, so I'm not gonna go there. But that's what he calls it. He calls it the fall of man. We start, we move from the state that we came here being, and that being, that innocent little baby being, and we start moving into states. We have to fall, because basically, as creation, as God, as one, there's only one state of being, and that is God. There's only one state of being, and that is creation. So when we move out of that state of creation, pure God, pure creation, then it is technically a fall. Because what we're doing is now we're falling into an infinite number of other experiences that we can have. If you are God, that's only God. That's the only experience. And that experience encompasses everything. But it is one experience of God. So when we talk about our experiences, we are kind of fallen. We're fallen away from that oneness into an infinite possibility of experiences. And that is one of the I would say, for God, for from the sake of creation, that is one way that we experience life and have an experience. I mean, God is awesome. To be God is awesome. But to have all of these experiences, individually, one by one, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So, but those Neville Goddard calls it a fall. And again, I understand where he's coming from, and sometimes I think, oh yeah, but other times I'm scratching my head and say, well, I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. But tonight, when I ask you who you are, you would probably say, I am, like I said, so and so. If I ask you what you are again, you would probably say, I am okay. I'm fine today. I'm good today. I'm happy today. I'm joyous today. I'm rich. I'm poor. You could preamble. You could follow I am with absolutely anything. And again, that anything is an experience. It's one experience. I am Jean. Well, I'm multifaceted. I'm a multi-person, but there's this altogether. It's an experience called Jean. Me. All right. So, making an I am statement is basically a declaration of the experiences or of the experience you are having at the moment that you make that declaration. So, you might say that I feel good, and again, tomorrow I might ask you the same thing, or 10 minutes from now I might ask you, how you doing? You might tell me something totally different, because it's just how we do. We move from one state of being into another, from moment to moment, all of our lives. Sounds kind of tiring, doesn't it? But all of our lives, we're moving, we're changing, we're fluctuating, moving from one state to the next state to the next state. At the blink of an eye, at the drop of an eyelash, we're moving. We're having these experiences. So what transports us? What is it that transports us from one state of being to the other? How is it that I can be happy? I can be the happiest me one moment, and then seconds later, I can be the lowest. I can be crying. I can be angry. I can be ready to, go to bat, or I can be sad, or I can feel depressed, or I can feel defeated. What does that? Basically, it's all the things that make up that state. And it starts with our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our perceptions of a given situation or a set of situations or a set of circumstances, what we perceive about it. And my perception and your perceptions, everybody have an individual perception. I'm looking out at the world from behind my eyes, and you're looking at the same experience or same thing. We could be in the same set of situations, same set of circumstances, same set everything, the same people are around, but I can look at the situation and feel happy, and you can look at the situation and feel worried, okay, or feel sad, because of your perception of the ingredients of that state of being. So we're in the same situation. All the ingredients are the same, but I can feel and have a different being about it, different experience with it than you. And this is where I want to use it. For instance, timeout. I can tell my kids, I used to do it all the time. You got 10-minute timeout, you go sit in that chair and you stay there for 10 minutes. A 10-year-old or a kid or child, 10 minutes in a timeout chair, their perception of that is going to be, I just got locked down. I just got arrested. I am in jail. I'm imprisoned. For me, if you told me the same thing, to go sit down for 10 minutes, I'd be like, whoa, I got some downtime. I can meditate. I can close my eyes, I can shut out the world, and I'm cool. So our perception, my grandson's perception of a timeout and my perception of a timeout are totally different. Or another one, and I laugh at this one because, more for my brother than I don't know. My grandkids are pretty good. They love the water. They love to take a bath. But my brother just did not care about taking baths. He just didn't want to do it. But I would just love it. I would just get my little bubble bath going. I have my little rubber ducky. I'm just like kicking back in the tub. But it was when it was his time to have that same tub, because, we had one bathroom when we were growing up. So same tub, same bubble bath. It was like you had to tie that guy down to get him in some water. So it's all in perception. We can be at the same event. We could be at the same event, sitting right next to each other. I'm rooting for this team, you're rooting for that team. The guy had a touchdown or got a field goal or whatever. I'm yelling, yay, 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 because it's my team, but the other person is cursing and mad and whatever, let's get out of here. The game's over. So absolutely every situation or circumstances, 500 people can be in the same room and have 500 different experiences, really. And they really are, they may be similar, have a bunch of folk cheering, half the team cheering, half the others, booing, but their perception of it, of all the ingredients, are different. One guy could have really cheering and happy because his brother's out there playing the ball, so he has a little added bonus in that. No matter what happened, he's going to be okay. So whatever, just remember that we can only experience one experience at a time. I can experience the same set of events, same circumstances, but my perception of that and interpretation of that and reaction to that could be totally, totally different. All right. So remember that, understand that too. So, and understanding that will help you appreciate other people, because everybody don't have the same feeling and the same perception that you have. So understanding that also helps you be a little bit more tolerant of the other person, of the other individual. So kind of hold that in your thought when you're going through a situation, the same situation. Understand that it could affect and be experienced and be interpreted, perceived totally different by everybody that's involved. And again, that will help you understand and be a little bit more tolerant with each other. Some people always are telling me the other day that, I always cry at sad movies. Well, I do too, but not all the time. I remember, not all the time. Okay. But anyway, so remember that. So what I want you to understand, I'm going to read my notes here. You understand is, one of the things I really want you to really get an understanding of, and if you miss everything else or anything else, what I do want you to understand is this: it is not the situation. It's not simply the situation or the set of circumstances or the feelings or even the thoughts, whether that are good or bad. Okay, and again, understanding this will also help you be a tolerant and a more understanding and open person. It's not that they're not either good or bad. They're just they're just circumstances. They're just situations. You interpret them, you classify them as to whether it's the good or the bad or the yes or the no. But the situation itself, without any conditions on it, it's just a situation. It is just a circumstance. It's just a set of circumstances. This person is just like you, just like me. But because you may have a little bit more experience or a little bit more interaction or connection with that person, you may have a different perspective and a different idea, different thoughts, and different beliefs about that person. But if you took away all of that and just set that person there without any of those conditions, that person is no different and no better, no worse than you or me or anything else. Likewise with anything else, I mean absolutely anything created and even not created. Your thoughts, your ideas, they are neither good nor bad, they're just ideas until you classify them, or until, your idea, we compare it, okay, I might say, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. And you may think this is the best idea in the world. So we classify it. We judge, we put our judgment on it, and we change it from being a neutral to a good or a bad or yes or a no for us. Remember that. And again, that's understanding that and really driving that home to understand that will also help you be more tolerant, more open and more understanding with one another and with situations and with just stuff, with people. Okay? So that's something that I definitely wanted you to kind of hold on to and kind of keep that. So back to how we move from state to state. Again, it is our thoughts, it's our feelings, it's our system of beliefs, it's our perception that gives any specific situation or set of circumstances a category. And we judge it. We give it. Our thoughts, our feelings, our belief systems, and I'm going to say my personal, yours, your individual belief system, your individual feelings, your individual thoughts, your individual ideas, your perception gives it the meaning for you, gives it it defines that experience for you, whether it's a yes experience or a no experience, or something that you want to continue to happen, keep happening. You want to hold on to that one, or is this one that I maybe need to move out of this state of being, because this is a no. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling good about it. So I'm not feeling a yes. So you want to move out of that yes, out of that no, into to a better one. So what happens when we find ourselves in a good state of being? When we find ourselves in a good state of being, a wise person would say, let me try to keep that up. But, we don't do that. And I have my reasons. I have my understanding, my reasons for that. But we're not really going to talk about that too much tonight. But the sensible thing would be is to identify good, a yes, a yes state of being, and try to be there. Try to be there. Or have your nice dwelling place, your go-to, and things kind of go crazy, go south, and you know where you want to get back to. So understanding and identifying what is yes and no to you, what's a good yes state of being, and what's a no state of being. We do that. We understand that. We know, but we don't always think about it in a way that would be useful and helpful to us as we're navigating life and going, doing our route back to Father kind of thing. But we are likely to, hopefully we would be more likely to try to maintain a yes or a good feeling state of being, rather than one that's not so good. We don't want to stay upset and angry and mad and depressed and all that. Not only does it affect our disposition and our mood and make us unhappy and not rah rah rah, it also affects us physically. We get when we're depressed and we're sad, and it slows our energy down. And when you're talking about a slow vibration, all those terrible things, those slow, vibrating things like disease and poverty and they attract each other. So they start, you start wondering, why is my head hurting? Well, because you're vibrating kind of low. You're in that depressed mood, and you're worried, and you got that work on. I see those veins going on in your neck. You're not vibrating at a high. You need to move. You need to move out of that no state of being, and you need to find your happy. You need to get a little happy on. So remember that you don't have to stay. You do not have to stay in a no state of being, on an unhappy state of being. You don't have to stay sad. You can move out of sad and go to happy or content. Anything is an upgrade. Anything is an upgrade. You can move. You can decide, I don't want to be sad. I'm not telling you to run away from it now. I want you to acknowledge it, and I want you to understand maybe the reasons that it's happening to you, but know that you don't have to stay there. You do not have to stay. I do not have to stay in a state of poverty. I don't have to be poor if I don't want to be, in that state of poverty, because it's a mentality, it's a set of beliefs, it's all those stuff that's wrapped around that. I can move out of that. And I can move into a state of prosperity and a state of wealth and well-being. I don't have to stay in poverty. I don't have to stay in anger. I'm angry, and this is why I'm angry, but I don't have to stay there. I don't have to continue to feed that beast or that animal or whatever. I don't want to be there. I want to move into happy. I want to be content. I want to be friendly. I want to find something other than depression to reside in. I'm depressed. I understand. I know, I understand maybe why it happened, but I don't have to stay there. I don't have to stay there. I don't care for whatever reason I entered it. This is not a place I want to stay. I don't want to stay unhappy. I don't want to stay feeling unloved. I don't want to stay feeling defeated. I don't want to stay feeling worried overly concerned about a situation that I can't handle, that I can't have, it's out of my control to fix somebody else. I don't want to stay there. I want to move into a higher vibration. I want to move out of the no that's not making me feel all great and warm and fuzzy and happy. I want to move into something else. So we can do that. We can do that as simple as making our mind up to do it, deciding that we want to do it. I don't have to stay there. I know that I don't have to be there. And I know a better place that I can be. I know what happy feels like. I know what content feels like. I know what joy feels like. I hit a bliss every now and then. I know what that feels like, and that's where I want to go. I want to upgrade. I want to upgrade from where this no feeling or this darkness. I want some light. I want to move from worried and anger to feeling strong and empowered. I don't want to move there. Deciding, making your mind up and deciding it is the first thing. And again, take a look at how intentions work, and I'll kind of give you an idea of how powerful your decisions are, and how powerful, once you make that decision, how powerful speaking it out, how powerful those words are that you say. When you say, I am anything at all, you're declaring a state of existence that you've moved into and you've grounded yourself in, at least for that point in time. And you can move out of that, and you can say I am a zillion times and have say a zillion things at the end of that in the course of a day. And that's all those states that you have an opportunity to move in and out of. And you can decide which one you kind of like. I think I'll hang out here a little bit. I think I like happy, so I'm going to hang out happy. And if I can tweak it a little bit, I may even get to happier, And if I can tweak it even more, I just keep on moving it. So you decide, you choose, you make the choice, you make the decision where you want to have your experience and where you want to have your existence. It's your decision. You create your reality, and I promise you, your state of being is your reality for that moment that you're residing there, the moment that you've accepted and affirmed and confirmed that that's what you're experiencing. That's where you are. And as easily as you changing the object of the I am, whatever you say, you can move and leave that place and move to another. And if you are smart and just really conscientious, then you can stay there as long as you want to, or find a better one to move to, or upgrade it, or maybe take it from happy to happier, or wealthy to wealthier, off the chain, billionaire, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, your own intuition and focus can help you control and decide and move from one state of being to the other. It's your intention, the decision that you make, your intention and your focus. Those are two things that you can redirect your thoughts, you can redirect your mind, you can change beliefs. If they're limited, if you have beliefs that are limiting you from being the wealthy person that you desire to experience that state, then tweak that belief, change that belief. Yeah, you are worthy, you are deserving of every and anything that you desire. You deserve it. You can have it. You can have what you say if that's what you want, that's what you desire, and that's what you intend. The universe will partner with you every day of your life, and I will too. Whoever, if you need a co-creator, hey, I agree. I'm an easy one. I'll agree. And if you and remember, it takes more than yourself to create and manifest anything. And that's something that hopefully we all know by now, that it takes two to create and manifest, okay? So you decide, put it out there to the universe. Universe will agree with you. If you want to be poor, and if you keep saying, I'm poor, I'm sorry, I'm mad, universe says, okay, he's sorry, he's mad, and I'm agreeing with that, and I'm going to help him keep that going and keep it moving toward him and keep him in that state, because that's what he wants. That's what he says he is. He am poor. So that's what he is, okay? But we don't want to be. But that's not what we want to be. Watch Watch what you're saying to yourself. Watch what your self-talk is. Watch what you are, because these are the powers. These are the powers that you use to manifest and create. Your imagination, your self-talk, your willpower, the love that you have, just being physical, the actions that you take, your emotions, all of those things wrapped around that intention, or that sentence, that's the object behind the I am. It couples with all of these, coupled with that, the power couples with that intention, and it creates and manifests your wants and wishes and desires. And if you say I'm poor and I'm sorry, or I'm late, if you say no, that's going to agree with no. Okay, if that's the way you want it. Me personally, I think that you can be great. You can be wealthy. You can be healthy. You can be wise. You can be strong. You can be courageous. You can be free. You can be at peace. You can have love. You can have all the good and wonderful things that we gravitate, being light workers and being spiritual beings that lean or gravitate to the light. Everything on this side of the contrast, that light side, that yes side, that's what we want. That's what we want for our lives. We fall into the no's, or we fall into what we don't want too often, in my opinion. But we can decide. We can decide no matter when or where we find ourselves. We can decide where we want to be otherwise. So that's something that we do. We can move. We don't have to stay there. We do not have to stay there. And I wrote this, and I'm not sure exactly. Forgiveness is one of the best states of beings that we can possibly move into. And I know that forgiveness itself is one of the highest vibrations. And if it's a high vibration, I'm all for it. Okay. So if you are in a state of anger or whatever with yourself or with a situation, forgive it. Forgive yourself, forgive them, forgive it, and move into forgiveness. Make the decision to move into it. Don't hold on to anger. Don't hold on to despair and whatever. Don't hold on to blaming yourself and just let all that go. Forgive yourself and move into forgiveness. Forgiveness is a high vibration. So you'll be going places then. What I want to do is I'm going to end tonight, and I think I'm going to end. Am I doing it? Oh my goodness, I'm over time. But I want to read this, and then I'm going to be out of here. This is it's coming from that document that you read, and this is a Neville Goddard piece, and it says, this is something that he said. He was lecturing. He was saying, and I'm quoting him, "I am not telling you that one state is right and another is wrong. I am simply asking you to judge all states with love. If you are ever in doubt, always do the loving thing. Then you will know that you are doing the right thing. If someone comes to you and tells you they want a job, don't ask them what happened to their other job or how they lost their job. Simply hear them. They don't even have to say it, but simply hear them in your mind's eye, your mind's ear. Hear them tell you now that he or she has a wonderful job. Do that, and you would have taken him from being unemployed to being gainfully employed. I urge you to use your own wonderful creative power and deliberately move from any state of your choice. Move into any state of your choice. Make it now Make it now at that moment. Make it now by occupying the state long enough so that you feel natural. Then he asked, haven't you ever bought a pair of shoes or a new suit that felt so new that you were aware and conscious of it every moment? He was saying, I know when I bought my first suit, I walked down Fifth Avenue thinking everybody I passed knew my suit was new. People passing paid me no attention, but I was so aware, so conscious of my new suit. That's exactly what happens when you move into a new state. It may feel uncomfortable. It may not feel, and I'm perfect, it may not feel comfortable, but stay there. Stay there. If it's a state of affluence, if it's new, if being affluent and being wealthy is new to you, think You think everybody knows that you're the pauper that lives at the end of the street. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about it, because 9 times out of 10 they don't know who you are anyway. They're not thinking nothing about you. So stay there until you feel the affluence, till you can feel it without a doubt. You feel it. You may not have a cent in your pocket, but you can with your imagination and your self-talk and all your other creative abilities and powers, you can create that image and that state, and you can reside there and stay there long enough that you will draw wealth. You will draw wealth into your life. It is a combination of our thoughts, our feelings, our attitudes, our beliefs about a particular situation or a set of circumstances that's present, that's appearing in our present moment, which is our state of being. Change any one of those, your thoughts, your feelings, your ideas, your perceptions, your attitude. You change any one of those and you automatically move from that state to another state. You're in control of your life. You're in control of your destiny. You're in control of the states in which you reside, in which you have your being. You are in control of that. You can control it by what you say, what you do, what you feel, what you think, what you believe. And all of those are changeable. None of those are sealed in stone or set in stone. You change. You can move from one state of being to any other state of being at your desire and at your intention. That's it for tonight. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I'm sorry I went over time. I'm going to get this hour thing down eventually. But anyway, sorry I kept you over an hour, but I hope you got something out of it, and I look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to continue with the state of being. And until then, manifest best, manifest with love, manifest with light. Manifest yes, don't manifest no. Manifest best, and I love you guys. God loves you, and I do. I do too. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Be blessed.